Hey guys, it's Adam here from Dpadnews TV, and for today, you guys wanted more of it, so here it is, number 7 of the Armories. Now the reason that we are doing the Armories is just, well, basically because, well, one, you guys want to see more of it. You guys find it really helpful, and I love doing these videos. I love trying the new guns, and really whooping some ass with them to kind of show that these guns can stay up and you know, can stand up against the big three. You know, we can classify that as a multitude of FAMAS, AUG, Stoner, AK-74U. Okay, top 4, whatever. But these guns can really stand up to those, and I'm really glad I can show you that on here. So here we are. We are looking at the Enfield, which is the first buyable Enfield. Well, yes, the Enfield is buyable, but it is the first assault rifle available to purchase in the game. Now, the Enfield honestly doesn't get the glory it deserves. It's a very good weapon, and it can really stand up to, you know, the FAMAS and the AUG and all those weapons. It really can hold its own, and it's a very good assault rifle. It's a very good weapon in the game, and it really doesn't get you know, the talk and the success that it should. So here I am. I'm using this naked. Now, the reason I don't really talk about extended mags or dual mag is because it should just be common sense. Those attachments are never a bad thing. An extended mag is never a bad thing. A dual mag is never a bad thing. So the reason I don't talk about that in the video is that just because if you're going to use the weapon with just the iron sights, you can always throw those on, and it really is not going to hurt your chances at winning here. So really the recoil on the Enfield is very low, and it's probably one of my favorite assault rifles. Once again, it doesn't get the credit it deserves. No, one of the good things about the Enfield that you're going to see throughout the course of this video is that it's really a good hip-fire gun. There's not a lot of good hip-fire guns in this game, and a lot of the problem with that is the amount of recoil that there are on some of these weapons, that it just kind of screws up the kind of run-and-gun play that used to exist in, say, Modern Warfare Reflex. But, of course, running gun was needed and spraying was needed due to the extreme amount of lag. But that's not a problem here. So it's good to actually have a gun where you can hip fire, though in this game aiming down the sights is a lot better. Now the iron sights on the gun are very good, and I do recommend, if you're not big on some of the other sights that we're going to talk about, just to go with the naked sights, with just the regular sights on the weapon, and take it from there. Now, once again, it's a good hip-fire weapon. Now here we are with a silencer, and really a silencer is and is not a good attachment. And I guess really you have to keep in mind it depends on the game mode you're playing. If you are playing in objective mode, a silencer is usually a good attachment. Of course, as I've done in previous videos where I've kind of intermingled some of the attachments together, I think it's better just for me to do them separately, because, well, it just makes more sense, because then I'm just showing, well, if you do it this way, then, you know, the suppressor might be better if you're using rapid fire, or you know, so this way I'll throw in a recommendation if I feel that the original is just not up to par. But the silencer in this game is generally, or the silencer on the Enfield, I should say, is just fine. It works well. Once again, there's not a lot of recoil, so that's not a problem with having to reduce that with the suppressor. But overall, with any kind of gun, the suppressor does do a good job, and as you can see here, hip firing is quite effective with the silencer as well. Now, so let's so overall, I mean, once again, keep in mind your game mode that you're playing. If you don't have to use the suppressor, I recommend you don't. So onto the sights, we're going to start at the back of the line and move our way forward. So here we are with the infrared scope. Now, I like the infrared scope on a sniper rifle. Not really on many of the other attachments for a weapon. And the reason of that is just because the infrared scope does allow you to, you know, kind of pinpoint opponents from far distances because they just blend in. Like, they stick out from their surroundings, so it's a lot easier to find them at long ranges. Now, the problem here is that when your opponent gets closer or has a lot of recoil, the scope just becomes pointless. So I really do not recommend the infrared scope for this assault rifle. It's not too bad on the M16. You can go back and watch the M16 Armories video if you want to see my review on that. But on the Enfield, I just say stay away from this. It's not really up to par, and though you might get some kills with it, as you've seen in this video, the effectiveness is really low, and you're not really going to get a lot of kills in the range that you're probably looking to get. So that's something to keep in mind. Once again, I just would not use it. So before we go on with the rest of the scopes, we're going to look at the Master Key. Now, this isn't the first time I've talked about the Master Key. I've talked about the Master Key in our video for the M16, and in the M16 video I said that the Master Key was really good. However, on the Enfield, the Master Key is not really useful. Because the Enfield is a very good close-range weapon, you can hip fire with it. Once again, at close range, it really makes the Master Key useless. It's not really needed because you can enhance the sights, which might be a benefit, or, you know, put on an extended make, which then there would benefit you better than having this Master Key. I did have quite a bit of trouble getting some kills with it this time around. Maybe the host wasn't very good in this game. As you saw there at the beginning, that guy was lagging pretty bad, and I mean, I shot that guy virtually right in the head, and it didn't kill him. So, I mean, that's something to keep in mind, too. If you have a laggy game, don't use the Master Key. So here we have the reflex sight, and, you know, I'm not really a big fan of the reflex sight on most weapons. I don't know. I would just prefer to either use, you know, the iron sights, or, you know, if you want to mix a close range, you can use the ACOG, or, well, the ACOG's long distance, but the red dot sight for close range. So I really don't find the reflex really that necessary in this, but of course, when it comes to the sights, and I've said this in the past, is that it really depends on you. Treyarch really did this really well in this game, is allowing, you know, a variety of different types of sights for players, and because of that, I really find that this is very well done. So once again, it's just a matter of what you prefer. If you like a reflex sight, then use the reflex sight. In my opinion, I didn't really get much success with it, so I would stay away. Once again, hip firing, very good with the Enfield. So, I mean, if you want to use steady aim, I recommend it if you're not using multiple attachments. The reload time on the Enfield is not very... It's not like it's high. It reloads rather quickly. So... or the reload time is not low. However that works. But it reloads rather quickly, so, I mean, if you were to choose steady aim over sleight of hand, you really won't be hurting yourself from that. But I found that once again, I found the red dot sight on the Enfield to be quite effective. I did really well in here. So this is going to be my second choice in terms of sights on the Enfield. You're really not going to go wrong with it if you do use it. So really, once again, it's just a matter of personal preference. If you prefer this over, say, a reflex sight, then go nuts. But I would really choose between the iron sights or the red dot if you just want kind of a closer range type of sight. So that's definitely something to keep in mind there. Oh, my dogs are freaking out. I thought somebody was here. So really, once again, take it with a grain of salt. This is my opinion. Now, my highly recommended site is going to be the ACOG site. The one great thing about Call of Duty Black Ops is the range of ACOGs. In past games, it's really only been the same site, and this is a good and a bad thing. If Treyarch made it to where you can choose what type of ACOG site you wanted on your weapon, I think that would have been more beneficial. Unfortunately, it ranges from, you're going to have a different ACOG site on your submachine guns, on your sniper rifle. Of course, this even on different assault rifles. The M16 ACOG site is different than the Enfield ACOG site. And I really think that if they would have made that kind of a customizable thing, it would have really benefited players a little bit more. But overall, I really find that the ACOG site on here works really, really well. And you're going to see that in the video here. I highly recommend this ACOG site. Also, if any of you are really looking to get dogs, you see this probably quite a bit in the videos. Is I use, excuse me, I use burps, and but no, I use spy plane, Blackbird, and then I get dogs. So, guys, that's gonna do it for me. I recommend the ACOG site, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.